Welcome to Consulting Mastery, where we help B2B consultants master the business of consulting. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Ahmed. Join us as we explore the art of delivering outstanding client value, earning a higher income, and thriving in today's marketplace. Let's talk about how to package your services. If you're delivering consulting professional services and you want to get some insight in how to best approach the exercise of packaging and inevitably pricing your services, this episode's for you. If you're looking for help with marketing, lead gen, positioning, packaging, pricing, kind of do it all, go to 90daypipeline.com/talk, chat with our team, see if there's a fit, 90daypipeline.com/talk. I've got a hot take on packaging.
Tell me.
Start with. And here's my
odd of you to have a hot take, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Can you believe it? I have an opinion. We get a lot of people that come to us and go, well, I need to package my services. I've been doing, a bunch of different things for different clients, and I need to streamline, or sometimes use the word productize. I need to productize or streamline or package my services. Whatever language they use, what they're looking for is essentially a more clear and streamlined service offering that has less variability. That's what they're looking for. Less variability. They don't want to do something completely bespoke every single time for a new client. They want something that's a little bit more packaged and has less variability. And so what they want to do, and sometimes they'll even go out and hire coaches to help just with this piece, is they want to go and they want to get the education on packaging. Like, how do I package, and what's the right structure, and how many deliverables, and they want to go and just go into their cave and do this exercise, right? And then come out with the perfect package. And of course, they come out with the perfect package and then have the problem of, you see where I'm going, Carrie?
I'm starting to get the gist, yes.
They come out of their cave with a package, but no
ability to communicate it properly?
Clients.
Oh, well, of course, yes.
No clients, right?
Yeah.
And the thing I try to communicate to people, in terms of solving this problem, is I get it, and we're big believers in packaging, and we have a whole methodology around it called the results mechanism. But packaging is best done and best accomplished in a live deal making environment. Okay. Why is that? Well, first of all, who are you packaging for? The issue with this exercise that a lot of people like to go through is, if you don't have a customer that you're framing the thing for, that you have in mind, that you're building a package for, then who are you building it for? You're building it for yourself, ultimately, right? Like you're making assumptions on what the market wants and needs, and then building something accordingly. And so you may end up with a package that you're happy with, but that clients don't want to buy.
What's interesting, I find when people ask this question, some of them, not all, they're not approaching the packaging from the perspective of finding the clients and making the sale. They start way back in delivery, right? They build out a thing that they think makes sense, and then they try to shoehorn it into some kind of marketing message that they think is going to land, hopefully, with somebody that needs the thing that they have.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about is very different than that. And it's an ongoing refrain, right? Which is listen to your prospects, listen to your customers, hear what they need, pay attention, all of those things that we keep circling back around. But when building your service, I would argue that it's not more important in any other timeline or any other component of your business than we are actually pulling it together and getting super clear on what the outcome is going to be. And so that takes a bit of a mental shift, right? Especially for operators, especially for people who are deep in fulfillment. This question usually comes right after I've had X number of clients. I've done, so many engagements. Now I'm at a place where I'm starting to see some similarities. I'm starting to see the themes that flow through. And now I want to pull it together. But if you don't make the jump and think about it from the perspective of how does it draw people in, then yeah, all you're doing is making your, personal view a little bit fancier and more polished, but certainly not something that's going to be more effective or efficient when you're talking to potential clients.
Yeah, because clients don't buy services; they buy
No.
solutions to their problems. And so, I think there are other markets that are far more advanced in this thinking than the consulting professional services market. You know, we've certainly borrowed a lot from the kind of lean startup methodology that was a fairly new and exciting methodology 10-15 years ago. Maybe now it's kind of commonplace if you're building like a tech startup, but the big idea was pre-lean startup, the way you built the tech product is you'd hire a bunch of coders to build a product, right? You spend whatever it would be, 6 figures or more, building a software product of some sort. And then you'd go hire some marketers to figure out how to sell it. And it was like two distinct processes. You had product development goes first, and then you had customer development was second. And this is how a lot of consultants think. I want to go develop my offer, package my offer, and then I'll figure out how to sell it. Two distinct processes, one after the other, perfectly sequential. And the lean startup methodology, championed by the few people whose names I forget now, basically said, let's run those side by side, because the big risk to your tech startup or software company, in their case, is not that you can't build a product. Like, you can hire coders and build a product. That's not the risk. The risk is that nobody wants what you built, right? So let's mitigate the most important risk up front and then build things as we get data from the market on what they want. We build what they want. So customer development and product development become two concurrent streams of work, not sequential streams. And I think this is certainly what we help our clients with, and this is our message to the marketplace, is if you're trying to build your consulting offer, regardless of how much experience you have. And I think some folks maybe think, I've done these many engagements, but if you're now going to package up an offer into something that's new, then it's new, right? And therefore think of it as new. And you want to now at the same time work on customer development as you do product development. And you may end up being very similar in terms of product development, but when you pair it with a customer development exercise and you're doing this in a live deal making environment, like you're packaging the service based on the inputs of an actual live customer who will pay you at the end. Not only do you get someone to pay you at the end, which is nice, but also you pretty much guarantee that the thing that you're building is something that customers will actually want, because you have an example of a real live breathing customer who not only wants it, but is collaboratively working with you on developing it.
I want to talk about what it means to do this in a live deal making environment, because I can imagine that making a whole bunch of folks listening to this nervous, right? Like, are you suggesting that I build the product while I'm talking to somebody? And if I'm doing that on these sales calls, A, how is that even going to happen? And B, how does that help me get to this, more kind of consistent, clear, concise articulation of what the package is? So let's talk a little bit about what it means to do this, because I think the language you use, which is do it in a live deal making environment, is different than do it while you're closing a deal.
Yeah.
There's some overlap, but it's not exactly the same thing.
So our methodology that Anna Lasky leads, obviously, inside of our program is called customer listening. And the big idea behind customer listening is that when you are introducing a new offer or a new product into the market, or any new version of what you previously sold, what you want to do before you build anything is go and conduct a small round of interviews with ideal customers and prospects. And the goal of those interviews is not to push anything on them or sell them anything or pitch them anything or even have any preconceived notions about what they want. The goal of those interviews is strictly to understand what's the market's need, what's their problem, what's their pain point, what's their challenge, what are they doing about it, What options do they like? What don't they like? Where's their pain? Where's their frustration? And it's important to do this without any kind of offer or solution on the table, because we don't want to frame them. It's not about framing them. This is about getting the truth from them. And then what happens is you do a round of conversations, and there's going to be a handful of prospects or clients who actually do need your help and are a good fit for you. And then you put forth to them, well, this may be something I can help you with if you're interested in, co-developing and collaborating on a solution, because I'd love to help you solve this problem. And you seem like a really good partner to work with, right? And there's a bit of an early adopter message in there, right? And if you're familiar with the product adoption lifecycle, the people that go first on any offer are called the early adopters, right? And then you have, and I'm generalizing, there's the innovators, et cetera, but let's just generalize and say the people that go first are the early adopters. The people that go next are the mass market. And the mass market's like the biggest chunk of the market, but the mass market only goes after the early adopters go. They want to see evidence from the early adopters that this is something worth doing. So the early adopters are the ones who are in line for the new Apple phone, waiting for hours to get that first shot at the phone. And then they're making YouTube reviews and talking to their friends about it and whatnot. Like, everyone's got a friend that gets the phone first, right? And then if you're a mass market or a laggard, you're waiting for the friend to give you their opinion before you decide if it's worth doing it yourself. So same thing here. When you take a new offer to the market, what you're looking for is not the mass market, because they don't go first. You're looking for early adopters. And early adopters love to be part of the process. They love to be engaged in the early stages of the development of a solution because they feel ownership of it. And they end up being the ones who become the best case studies because they're so committed to the outcome and to partnering and collaborating with you. So bottom line, and the big idea I want folks to take away from this is, this doesn't need to be a big and complicated process. All I'm saying is, don't try to package your services or define your service offering in the absence of an interaction with a customer. Do this in a live deal-making environment. Do this with the right prospect in mind, and use them to give you the data that you need to inform the packaging and the structure of your solution or your service offering. And what you'll end up with is a client, at least, and hopefully an offer or a solution that now you've pretty much guaranteed is relevant to the marketplace, because you've taken customers' needs into the equation from the very beginning.